again. And the last time we played Chicago the other day, we ended up losing that game 118 to 108. And one of the things was just the size, right? You had Andre Drummond, Nikola Vucevic, who he ended up actually getting thrown out of the game early on. So that kind of helped us. And we got out rebound 42. We both had 8 offensive rebounds, but got out rebound 42 to 38. And you just saw the energy of Andre Drummond, who was just able to get second chance opportunities and putbacks, and especially early on, was really just impacting the flow of the game. And then, Vu, he was, for the limited time he was in, still able to again, impact the game and just use his size. And we've seen the Lakers struggle with size on numerous occasions this season. When Anthony Davis was out, right, that was a huge thing. Just the shot blocking, going and falling to smaller guys, 6'8", 6'9" guys, as opposed to a 7-footer with Mo Bamba out, that really hurts. And beyond the Chicago Bulls, we also have to play the Minnesota Timberwolves, who have the modern-day Twin Towers in Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert, right? And at least with Chicago, you're not facing 2 7-footer guys at any given time, right? The Chicago Bulls, they're interchanging guys, but you have a matchup issue when Winning Gabriel comes in over Anthony Davis, right? Anthony Davis, he can hold his own when he wants to be aggressive. He wasn't super aggressive by any capacity in the previous Bulls game. Hopefully that change in this upcoming Bulls game, we could really use him being a more dominant level of Anthony Davis. But even with him kind of being a bit lackluster in that previous game, he still got 9 rebounds, 15 points, and 5 assists on top of 1 block and 1 steal, right? So even a bad game, he's still putting up decent numbers, but we need a much better game in the Bulls, and especially the Timberwolves game, because that game is so important, so valuable for seeding, to get us a game ahead, all of those things, right? But to face the Timberwolves, we already struggled with just Rudy Gobert and then Naz Reid, and then on top of that, now they have Karl Anthony Towns back, and you're what? Now you're putting LeBron James on Karl Anthony Towns? Which, I mean, LeBron can hold his own. Like, Cat isn't this huge, dominant, just physical type of center, and especially more now with Rudy Gobert. He's kind of more, he plays more of like a 6'8" guy now than he does a 7-footer, where before, when he was that low post threat, he was a lot at the rim, but could spread the floor. Now he's a lot more in the perimeter when he's playing alongside Rudy Gobert, right? So having these guys, and then having our backup center and Winning Gabriel, who's been great. Like, don't get me wrong, he's had some great moments. He's been a solid contributor. I actually like when him and Anthony Davis are on the court together. I actually think that that's impactful, and maybe that's something that, Darvin Ham looks at, is like, hey, let's do some Winning Gabriel in the starting lineup with Anthony Davis. Maybe they do something like that against the Minnesota Timberwolves. I don't think you really need to do that against Chicago, but maybe that could be a possible alternative to kind of match their size, and then maybe have LeBron play the 3. Could maybe go that route. But regardless, whatever they decide to do, it would be really nice to get a center, right? It'd be really nice to get somebody with some size. And we've talked about this on numerous occasions, right? This isn't like some revelation, some new thing that it's like, hey, we should get somebody. And very likely the Lakers aren't going to sign anybody to a long-term deal, right? If they do sign anybody, it's very likely going to be a 10-day contract. But the good thing is that if they were to sign somebody, say, tomorrow to play, then you'd have that 10-day contract, and it would just match up with that, even if you just get somebody for these upcoming games. Because after the Bulls and Timberwolves game, it's not as huge of an issue, right? You got the Rockets, you got the Jazz, who they have a lot of size guys, but they're not, like, none of them are like a dominant low poster, right? Like, they have Lauri Markkanen, who's like 7 feet, 7'1", whatever, but he's playing the 3 for them. And does he even play? The Jazz have kind of packed it in a lot, so not really worried there. The Clippers, again, not really worried there. And then the Suns, not really worried there, right? So we only really need another big for the Bulls and Timberwolves game. Now, they could go Rui Hachimura, who didn't play in the previous Bulls game, which that's kind of like my biggest knock, is I think that he should have played. He wouldn't have helped on the defensive end at all, just because I saw a lot of people saying, like, we should have put Rui on, Zach LaVine or something like that. Like, he's not stopping Zach LaVine, right? Like, I love Rui Hachimura. I've made numerous videos about Rui, but he is not quick on his feet. He's not very good at the lateral movement. He is more of a 4 and best guarding the 4s than he is a 3, right? You have these two types of forwards you see, right? You have the Bridges type, Mikal Bridges, who's long, skinny, lengthy, that kind of guy. And then you have like the Aaron Gordon, who's like stockier, more just brute type of forward. That's what Rui is. Rui is more Aaron Gordon than Mikal Bridges. But you have a guy in Jared Vanderbilt who could also do that. So you could throw these guys at center. Like you even saw in the Bulls game where they ran sets with like LeBron and Vanderbilt at the 4 and 5. Yeah, but again, that's not ideal. It's not what you want. Why even go about that when you could just simply go get even a DeMarcus Cousins, for just 10 days, or get a Tristan Thompson, although he's not really 7 foot, and I'd like somebody more traditional, like a Bradley or a Nerlens Noel or a Serge Ibaka or whomever, right? I don't care. Just get somebody for a 10-day. And look, this is probably just winded for the sake of being winded, because I don't believe the Lakers are going to do that. This is kind of more me hoping that it gets put out into the universe and maybe the Lakers actually do this, because we could use it, especially against Minnesota. We can't play around with Minnesota, right? Minnesota's size is going to be a problem, and we have to win that game. Like, out of all the games that we have remaining out of the next 7, Minnesota is, in my opinion, the most important of those games, right? Because all the others, like Utah, again, Utah's kind of packed it in, not really worried about them. The Rockets, that should be a gimme game, especially with everybody healthy, everyone playing. The Clippers, that's going to be a tough game, of course. The Suns, that could be a tough game, of course, if they play guys. But outside of that, like, you're in a pretty good spot, right? It's just the Chicago Bulls game where you have Andre Drummond, who can go off for 15 and 20 because he's being matched up against Winning Gabriel. Winning Gabriel's not going to be able to hold him down. And then you have even worse in the Minnesota game where you have to deal with essentially 3 centers and Naz Reid, who is having a great season, Rudy Gobert, and Karl Anthony Towns. And it's just like that becomes a really big mismatch when it doesn't have to be. Right? Like, again, I'm not saying you have to bring DeMarcus Cousins in and have him play 40 minutes. But just for those matchup purposes, just to have somebody there to kind of just, be a big body to help out. Like, even if you don't really want to play him, right? Like, you could start the game maybe with Anthony Davis and, like, Winning Gabriel and just see, right? And if it works, great, then don't worry about it. If it doesn't, well, at least now you can make that change and you can make that adjustment. Like, if they're killing us on the boards and it's becoming an issue and they just keep dumping it down and getting easy buckets, boom, Cousins, let's go. Bradley, let's go. Noel, let's go. Whomever, Ibaka, whatever. Insert the center that you'd like, right? My hope is that the Lakers will make this adjustment, and it's very simple. You sign somebody to a 10-day, and you're good. You got them for the next 2 games, and then that's it. You let them go, and no hard feelings. Thank you for that spot, and all is right. Because you're going to get Mo Bamba back for the playoffs. So in the playoffs, I can understand if they don't want another center, right? Play-in, playoffs, he might be back for the play-in. If not, he should be back for the playoffs. So I get the Lakers not wanting to sign a center. Okay, fine. But at least get somebody temporarily. We could have used it since Mo Bamba went down. But we were able to ride out the storm. We were able to weather it. You got 7 games left, and you need to win all 7 preferably. But you need to go at least 5-2. And so if you can get a guy to put you in position to help with that, even if it's just momentarily, then why not do that? Why not give some help? Why not get somebody that can come in and play that role and be serviceable to that degree? That would just be tremendous, right? Or even allow AD to play the 4 a little bit, right? Whatever the outcome is. I just don't know why they haven't even seemed to have considered it, right? Because you look at this team has everything you need across the board, and the one thing they need is a backup center, like a true backup center. And it's like, okay, Mo Bamba's going to be back eventually. You know, it would have been nice, especially for like the Rockets game, whatever. But okay, I get it. It was one game. Cool. I understand. But you saw what Chicago was able to do to us. And now you're playing them again. And then on top of that, you're going to have to go up against an even bigger team in Minnesota. And it's just, I just feel like it's something that is an easy fix and an easy change. And again, it's probably a winded video for the sake of being winded, but I don't know. Hopefully it's something that ends up happening. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Do you agree with me? Do you think, yeah, like go get a center, get somebody that can come in for these next 2 games at least, and then if you want to let them go, cool. Or do you look at it and go, no, we've already made it this far, just leave it, let's go, ride it as is, whatever happens, happens. However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below.